Welcome back to the channel. Today I am taking over and gonna show you a little bit of our garden here. We've planted lots of things and we've already harvested a lot of stuff for our household, at least, like not like for big for big gardens or anything, but it's been a lot for our household and we've really enjoyed everything that we've harvested so far. So I just want to take you through and show you just a little bit of what we're growing and what we're expecting to come through the rest of the growing season. I'll start here at what I think of as the back of the garden. Technically, behind the back of the garden, we do have a little chamomile plant that had seeded itself from last year's crop, and I've let it grow and harvested tons of chamomile from it already. But in that, I do have more chamomile coming up inside the raised bed here, along with a plethora of basil that's coming up. This bed is pretty much empty because I harvested all the broccoli. We had 4 broccoli plants here. 3 of them got great heads of broccoli on them, but 1 of them did not. But nothing goes to waste here. So all of those wonderful greens have gone down to the chickens. And then we had a couple of small onions tucked in there that just weren't doing great because they were so shaded from the broccoli. And then in here, I do have some store-bought basil that I had planted out, tucked in. And it just keeps giving and giving and giving, which is great. But then these are also violas and pansies. If I come to this side, you can see just how gorgeous these are. But these are edible flowers. So I've really enjoyed them. I've put them in some bruschetta. Our son just comes out here and picks them and eats them. But they're so pretty and I just really enjoy seeing them, but it's a benefit because they are edible. And just a little tidbit, we'll go through all the raised beds first and then I'll talk through what's in the in-ground bed here. So we have cucumbers galore in here. I've got 2 normal cucumbers and then 2 pickling cucumbers, and then I think as well 2 normal ones. A friend had given me these, so I planted them out and we're just gonna let them grow up. I am gonna get a cattle panel to put here to make a little archway. I'm thinking it may have to go like over the other bed. I don't know. It might have to be a very steep arch to kind of fit here, but I do want to grow them up an arch, so that's coming. Tomatoes. These are cherry and beefsteak, if I remember correctly, but on each of these 3 beds, I do have them edged with tomatoes, different varieties. These 2 little ones are volunteers. The garden is full of volunteer plants this year, and I couldn't be more thrilled. It means the soil and everything just was so perfect that everything was happy to grow. And then I do have a jalapeno here. And this should be another tiny jalapeno that it's been a struggle bus for that one. So I don't know that that's gonna do anything. But you know, this is gardening, so we're just gonna give it a try. And then this is supposed to be a carnival pepper, which basically is just a mixed variety of pepper seeds. Onions, squash and zucchinis, bell peppers, tomatoes, and then there's dill here. And I stuck a couple Brussels seed sprouts out rather late, but you never know. We'll see what happens. More bell peppers, more tomatoes, lavender, rosemary, parsley, oregano, carrots. This one I've dubbed my salad bed, but it's kind of mixed in through other stuff. So you have sage. I've got zinnias coming up because my lettuce is just about done. I've got radishes, which keep giving and giving because I keep sowing and they keep coming, but I've let this one go to seed. So that's gonna be fun. And then I've got arugula and more lettuce. I did sow some more spinach recently, so those little babies are just now starting to come up. So we should get a couple of those and have a little bit more spinach before it gets too hot. And then this bed the main thing in it is the flowers. All of these zinnias were self-seeded from last year's crop. And I have them tucked in a lot tighter, so there's gonna be a lot more flowers. Last year, and I can throw a picture up from last year, but though all the flowers you saw were from 3 or 4 zinnia plants. Like, that was everything. And now I had these self-seed in here, had all of these self-seed, and then there's even more behind that are just not quite there yet, but they are coming along great. This is a tomato that volunteered, as well as this volunteer tomato, and in a nasturtium, and there's some cilantro there. Sorry, forgot the word. But we've got those, and then I've tucked in a couple other things, like there's some snapdragon seeds supposed to be, or snapdragon seedlings supposed to be in here, and then a couple sunflowers as well. A beautiful, beautiful butterfly bush. Like, she is loving life. This thing is only supposed to get 2 foot by 2 foot, and that is a lot closer to 3 foot tall. It may be, and it's probably about 2.5 foot wide. So she's loving life, and we couldn't be more thrilled. But then in this one, we were going to try to do a little bit of the 3 sisters method and do green beans, which all of our green beans are bush varieties, so it wouldn't be exactly right, but the way they complement the soil, we are going for that. But so we got green beans and corn, but my corn seed was like 2 or 3 years old, so I only got a couple little bitty sprouts of corn through here. So I may stick some other random stuff in here throughout the growing season and just kind of fill in as needed. But I'm happy for the few corn stalks that are gonna grow, because I don't really grow them for the corn. I mostly grow them so that way I can have them as a decoration on my front porch. I let them dry out, cut them, and then I use them for decorations during the fall. So I do want to give a quick honorable mention to our edible hedge that is very, very slowly coming along. We had bought very small plants, so it was last year, yeah. So we bought very small plants last year, and they are growing. We did have a couple of them die, but that was user error because summer came and things didn't get watered as best as they should, and yada, 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 yada. Life happens. Plants should have tried harder. Anyways, but that is coming along. Things are growing good. They're like, you can see the goji berry bush there. It's coming along. I had one raspberry make it and one not, but the one that did is a very tiny little baby one right now. And we have an aching cherry down there and a tiny blueberry, and they are just trudging along. But yeah, it'll come along. It just will take time. And then we do have this awesome blackberry bush, which I just noticed a ripe blackberry, and I'm gonna take that inside to our son. But she's coming along, and then I have a small one over there that is starting to get some flowers, so that way it can start producing. And then my rose bushes looking a little strange there, but they're good. And then this right here is a hollyhock, and there were a couple others in this bed, but they haven't done as well. I don't know what it is about this one, but it loved life, and I'm so grateful that it's doing wonderful. Wildflower garden, still not quite there yet. I've got like zinnias popping up here and there, and then this Queen Anne's lace that came along there. And then there are little bitty seedlings of different things coming up in this, but mostly right now it's clover, and that's fine. This year, again, may not be a great one for the garden, for this particular garden, but we are gonna get this fence finished, and then the dog and the kid cannot like run through and make these paths and kill things out to where things can actually start doing great. But I think that's gonna do it for today's video. I know it's really short, but we just wanted to put a little something out there, and I really wanted to show off my garden. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of those good things, and check in next week to see how our vacation went. Oh yeah, God bless.